My name is Ilahi Sohal, and today I'm here to have your speaking. Shall we start? Can you please give me your identity?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your name is Anjali, and your candidate number is 012341. All right. So could you please tell me your full name?
My name is Anjali.
Where do you come from?
Well, I am a resident of countryside area, namely Fazilwal, which is in northern hemisphere of India.
All right. How long you have been living there?
I lived there since my birth with my parents.
Okay. Who is very closer to you in your family?
Well, my father is very close to my heart because he is my role model and he always motivates me to do all things.
Do you help your mother in house chores?
To be honest, I like to do a household chores because I am keen fanatic in cooking.
Okay. Let's talk about your hobby. What are your hobbies?
Well, there I have number of hobbies. My favorite hobbies is listen to music because I feel relaxed.
Okay. How often you listen music?
In my daily routine, I feel when I feel a stress busted, then I listen music and feel stress busted.
Okay. What kind of music you like to listen?
Well, I like to listen different type of music according to situation like folk music, jazz music, classical music, and many others.
All right. What kind of hobbies are normally done by the people of your town?
Well, citizens of my town like to prefer different type of activities like playing different type of games, listen music, reading books, and also chill up with their friends.
Do you think hobbies of elders and youngsters are totally different to each other?
Yes, there are huge difference between the hobbies of youngster and older because older people give more preference to chill up with their friends. However, most elder people like to spend more time with their family members.
Okay. Do you pursue your favorite hobby at weekends or not?
Yes, I pursue my favorite hobby at my weekends or weekday because I do not because it become my habit.
Okay. Could you please tell me that are you fond of using technology?
Yes, nowadays it is. I am keen fanatic of using technology because it is a very daunting task for me to live without technology.
Okay. What kind of technological accessories you use?
Well, I use lots of accessory like computer, mobile phone, and top laptops.
Could you please tell me that which is that technological gadget you cannot live without and you use daily?
Well, I use daily mobile phone for my study and other purposes, and I think I did not live without this app, without these gadgets because it helps me to learn many things.
Do you think in upcoming time people will be more addicted to technology?
Yes, I think future is unpredictable, but I think people are in future people are totally depend on technology because all of work are done by artificial intelligence.
Okay, now I am going to give you a cue card, and your cue card is you have to describe a story or novel that you read. Okay, that you read. What story you read, what it was, and what the story is about, and why you feel it interesting. So here's your cue card, paper, and pencil. And 1 minute starts now. Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Start.
Well, I did listen of lots of stories since my childhood. Sometimes I listen story from my grandparents and parents because it gave me a lot of lessons, which helps me to in my future time. But here I would like to talk about a story which I found very fascinating. It is a story of Thirsty Crow. I came to know about story when I was in sixth standard. I firstly read this story for preparing myself for English exam because it is a story. It is a part of my syllabus. Moreover, it is a very popular story among Indian children, especially in northern India. It is actually it is a story of crow who was very thirsty on the day of hot. He saw he saw he searched the water here and there, but he did not found. But at last he reached in a garden where he saw a pot, but there was a little much water in this pot. Instead of feeling upset, He thought a plan. He thought a plan, and in last he saw some stones where which he collected and put into the pots. Finally, water was rose up, and he drank of water and flew away. All in all, this is the moral of the story is never losing your hope until your last try. However, I hear a lot of stories from my parents and grandparents. So all in all, this story gives me a motivation to reach on your destination without worrying the situation. So this is the story which I found very fascinating.
All right, so let's move to discussion part. Do you think that in the present scenario, the way of narrating story has totally been changed?
Yes, now in if I'm talking about the past, then people mostly listen story from their parents and grandparents. But nowadays, people give more preference to listen story from books as well as technology gadgets.
Okay. Do you think that narrating story on technology has break the relation of grandparents with their children?
Yes, due to the technology, most of people give preference to read a story from technology gadgets, and people do not give more preference to their family members. So 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 they do not read so they do not listen story from their parents.
Okay. What kind of stories you feel nowadays children are more curious to listen?
Well, children are keen fanatic to know distinct type of stories like fairy tales, king and queen story, also animal movies.
Okay. Which stories children like to listen from their grandparents in the past?
Well, in the Goans day, children like to children like to read children like to listen story from their grandparents because they have a keen fanatic to know more about a king story of king queens fairy tales and also some historical periods.
Okay. Last question would be, if you get chance to listen a new story from your grandparents, then which would be that?
Well, if I get a chance to listen story from my grandparents, then I definitely listen to story about the Queen of Jhansi because it is a woman of Indian who fight against British for freedom.
Okay, that's all about it. Thank you so much.